Sunny arrives at the hospital and finds Dant walking through the halls and is happy to see him up. Dant gets back to bed, and he just wants his strength back. Sunny says that will take time. Dante is glad he was able to sort things out regarding Jason and tells his dad what happened on the pier. He says he didn't know the guy who shot him, and his body hasn't been found. He doesn't know why Jason was with him, but Jason was trying to get him help. Sunny explains he saw Jason, and he's working as an informant for the FBI. Sunny states Jason is dead to him now. Downey thinks he should get the full story before writing him off. He says Jason was his right-hand man. He relied on him. Sunny says when he came back from Nixon Falls, Jason was marrying Carly and things were never the same. He thinks Jason isn't the Jason he knew. Sunny doesn't want to waste their time together talking about Jason. At Liz's place in a robe, she calls upstairs for Jake to hurry up in the shower as she needs one before her shift. There is a knock at the door and Aiden answers. It's Jason. Jason recognizes him and says it's been a while. Aiden invites him in, and Liz is surprised to see him. Jason hopes it's okay that he stopped by, and wanted to thank her for being at this arraignment. Liz wanted to see for herself what was going on and congratulated him on having the charges dropped. He feels he probably should have come earlier, but she says the timing is better now. She apologizes for the mess, as she just got off a double shift and is head nurse now. Jason heard Epiphany died, along with Bobby and Britt, and so much has happened. Liz notes he looks different, and Jason says he is different. Jake comes downstairs, is shocked to see Jason, and asks why he is here. Jason came to see him. Jake asks his dad where he's been all this time. Jason explains he got into trouble and was forced to take a job he didn't want to. Jake asks why he didn't tell them he was alive. Jason assures him that he would have gotten in touch if he could have, and to please believe him. Jake asks, "Would you believe you?" Jason knows he has a lot of explaining to do, and he just wants to talk to him. Jake again lashes out as his father. Jason swears he didn't have a choice in what happened and didn't want to leave him. Jason didn't mean to hurt him and decides to leave. Liz walks Jason out and tells him that she'd be lying if she didn't have the same questions Jake does. Despite everything, it is good to see him, and his death never felt real to her. Jason says Jake has every right to be angry, and he's glad he can express it. Liz says Jake is still a teenager and has fears, mostly of losing his father. Later, Liz sits down with Jake and knows this isn't easy for him, but it's also not good to be so angry at his dad. Jake doesn't think she should be okay with this and act like he didn't do anything wrong. Liz says that's not what she's doing, and she just needs him not to lash out at everyone around him. Jake asks if she knew his dad was alive and kept it a secret. Liz promises she didn't know. Jake feels guilty for feeling so sad when Dad died, but now he thinks it was easier having a dead father than having one who is alive and only commits crimes and has nothing to say to his family. Liz explains his dad is a man of few words, but he wouldn't have come today if he didn't want to see him, and she knows he wouldn't have stayed away on his own. Jake asks why he's like this. Liz says he's complicated, but Jason doesn't lie and doesn't make things up. Jake guesses Jason won't show up here again after today, but Liz says don't count on that. He'll keep showing up. At the Invader, the gossip columnist Adrian argues with Alexis that Nana made him associate editor, so he gets a say when and where his pieces run. As they argue, Diane arrives and asks if this is a bad time. Alexis is glad she came as she was just showing Adrian out, and tells him to call Nina if he has an issue. Alexis vents to Diane that Nina is making her life a living hell now that Adrian is an editor. Diane has good news. She's done some digging and is getting closer to getting Alexis back to practicing law. Diane says one of the original attorneys on the legal board of her dismal, Fergus Byrne, had to recuse himself, as he was Neil Byrne's older brother. When he recused himself, he was replaced with his law partner, which is sketchy. She feels this charge of bias is another reason to get this overturned. Alexis never knew of or even met Fergus. Alexis says she's still not sure she should go through with this. As frustrating as this job is, she isn't up working till 3 a.m. or having nightmares of making a mistake that could get a client thrown in jail. Diane says the Alexis she knows never took the easy way out, and she loved a challenge. So what is this about? Alexis reveals Molly is worried about her sobriety, and if the appeal is dismissed, that she'll drink again. Alexis admits she's even considered this could derail her sobriety. Diane can't foresee the future, but she knows her friend and how strong she is. She doesn't think this would cause her to start drinking again, as this nightmare of a paper hasn't caused her to slip up. Diane says her argument to get the petition rolling has been granted, so what do? Adrian returns with a great idea that he and Nina just had and wants to run by her. He says everyone loves his column so much that they thought they could split it up into a daily piece. Alexis again throws him out of her office and then tells Diane to get her the hell out of this paper. At Deception, Lucy, Brooke Lynn, and Maxie meet with Blaze about signing as the new face of Deception. Brooke Lynn says this will be great for her career, and Maxie calls it a win-win for all of them. As Blaze is about to sign it, Natalie enters, grabs the contract, and reads it over. Natalie says she knows they approached Allison before about being the face of Deception, and asks why they separated with the other woman. Lucy explains Sasha was too wholesome, and the industry needs someone edgy. Natalie won't have the term edgy associated with Blaze. Blaze agrees with her mom. She doesn't strive to be edgy. She sees herself more as a creative force and a singer. Lucy says they just want Blaze to be herself. Natalie then has an issue with Blaze being a spokesmodel and asks what that means. They explain that she'd be a cover model, but also on the Home and Heart channel selling their products. Natalie refuses to have Blaze selling products on a shopping channel, and there will be no deal unless they drop the part of her being a traveling saleswoman. Natalie crosses out a bunch of sections to make the contract approvable, with Blaze only being a model. Lucy tells Blaze she understands her mom wants what is best for her, but being the face of Deception is a big opportunity. Blaze says her mom makes a point. She's a singer and performer. She's not a spokesmodel. Blaze asks if they'd be open to hiring a second face to do the shopping channels and meet and greets. Lucy likes the idea and thinks two faces are better than one. Maxie and Brooke Lynn roll their eyes. They sign the contracts, and Lucy is glad they could work this out and that they will do great things together. Natalie says one more thing. She'd like their word that moving forward Allison will be a woman of mystery, and her private life will remain off limits. Allison will only be known by her beauty and music, no pieces on her personal life. Confused, Maxie asks Blaze if that is what she wants. Blaze says, absolutely. Anna talks with Detective Bennett about getting Dex Heller into the PCP, as he's also one of the instructors there. She says he's ex-military, so he'll pass the physical and drug screening but likely needs time to study for the written exam. Bennett trusts her judgment, and Anna explains his experience working for Sunny should be useful to them. Bennett is not certain about this, but Anna believes Dex can help them with what he knows as one of Sunny's insiders. The detective always thought she held a soft spot for Sunny. Anna assures him that Sunny will be held to the same standard as everyone else. She has realized that organized crime in the city needs to be brought down, and Dex is an opportunity they may never get again. Later, Sunny stops by to see Anna, who claims she's very busy. Sunny relays he just came from seeing Dante. He's up and walking, and a full recovery will take a while. Dante also said Jason didn't shoot him, but he was still on the roof with the sniper. Sunny asks if she is planning to charge Jason with anything for being there. Anna loses her temper and calls him a son of a bitch, and says it's clear Jason stopped that sniper from shooting him. She says this is an FBI case now, and if she wants him to arrest someone she could always arrest him for attacking Cyrus. Sunny is confused, as he thought they were getting closer. Anna says she now sees her attitude towards him was colored by what he did for Robin and Stone, but she is not okay with him beating an old man bloody and unconscious. She is police commissioner now and his days fading by are over. So get out of her office. Back at the hospital, Dan wakes up and sees Jason standing at the door. Dante didn't expect to see him, but is glad to and thanks him for the bandage and calling 911. He saved his life. Jason blames himself for Dan being on the pier in the first place. Dante laughs and says, "Good point. I take it back." Dan asks him why Jason turned around and why he didn't keep running. Jason knew he wouldn't stop chasing and thought it would be safer to let him arrest him. Danny asks if he can tell him what happened to the guy who shot him. Jason doesn't know his real name, but he's dead, and he only has theories of what happened to his body. Dante asks if he too was an FBI informant. Jason assumes he's been talking to Sonny. Dan explains his working for the feds has messed him up, and Sonny thinks he's a traitor. However, Dante knows something is going on, as he has never ratted on Sonny. Jason hasn't flipped on Sonny, but can't say who he's informing on. Dante thinks the FBI must have something big on him. Jason says it was big enough that he had no choice. Jason swears Sonny is safe, and he will do what it takes to make sure it stays that way. On the next General Hospital, Stella confronts Curtis about what he's hiding from his family. Anna tells Kate, "This is my jurisdiction. I want in." Dex tells Bennett, "That was a stupid and ugly reason to die." Willow says to Carly, "I thought you and Jason told each other everything." Drew asks Nina, "What has payback ever gotten you?" Jason asks Kate, "Why should I continue to honor that?"